What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Library of Brainwave podcast. I'm Adrian Jackson. This is my second episode on my self-improvement series. If you haven't already, go to my previous video and check that one out so you just don't miss anything. But today, I want to talk to you guys about what I've been doing throughout the week and also the things that I've been learning during this process of self-improvement and getting my life back on track. I want to start by talking about the things that I personally like to do and the things that I want to do, even if I'm not at that point yet. I've written down in of course, Charlotte Hornets notebook, things that I want to do in my life. So those things are traveling, going to see different places, meeting new people, doing new things. Those are the things that I want to do. Things that I like to do are play basketball, go out to eat, spend time with my family. And those things I realized that a couple of them I can do, others not right now, just because I'm not financially there yet. But once I get there, I can have the potential to do those things and also enjoy the things that I enjoy doing already. So, like I told you earlier, basketball is my main, that's something I like to do. That's something that I can enjoy doing by myself or with other people, and that brings me joy, it brings me happiness, and also even taking long walks. So I used to walk to the basketball court, and I remember when I was staying at my mom's house, I would always walk to this basketball court because it was about 10 to 15 minutes away from where she stayed at. And I play there all the time. I go out there in the morning, come back in about 2 or 3 hours, and just remember the joy that I felt being out there, being able to see my shots fall, being able to play with other people, meet other people that I've never even encountered in my life before, and just being able to build connections with new friends and new people in my life. And that's something that I find joy in. I also find joy in just doing things outside the house. So not being in here playing video games or watching Netflix 24/7, and actually just going out and doing just other things. And that has brought me just a lot of good memories from times where I used to go to Myrtle Beach and my family used to go to Myrtle Beach. My girlfriend and I went to Myrtle Beach, and just really anywhere, any type of trip that we wanted to go on, we took it. And we had the best experiences with it because it was something that I know that me personally, I like to do. I like to be out the house. I like to go out and just try out new stuff. So that's something that has made me realize that, hey, like I might not have it right now, but once I get there, I'll be able to do the things that I'm looking forward to doing. And also, some of these things that I could be doing are things that don't cost me anything. So I think just taking that step and actually doing it instead of just waiting and procrastinating about it and just overthinking it has helped me a lot throughout the past week and a half. And also making these videos as well too, because I'm a person that gets nervous behind the camera. I'm a person that gets pretty anxious, and sometimes I feel like I beat myself up. I think I mess up a lot, and it translates into me just not attempting to fail. Just failure in general has been something that I've taken the wrong way, because sometimes you actually have to in order to get to where you want to go. And it takes a level of failure and rejection for you to get a just tougher skin about it and be able to do what you want to do in your life without certain things getting in the way, because you're learning everything throughout the way. And that's the one thing that I've learned this past week. And also just while doing this, because right now I have a therapist, but I haven't been able to go to my therapy because of just my life balance is getting out of whack. So I've just been there without therapy, and also by doing this podcast, and also by sitting down, editing, and reading a lot more. I've actually started to pick up books, and being able to do things like that it's helped my mind be a lot clearer about a lot of things, because I don't have to put a lot of pressure on myself and get down about things that I can't do right now. So that's one thing that's definitely helped me in the past week. Another thing I've been doing this week is just allowing myself to be honest with myself. But that, I mean, being brutally honest, whether it's good or bad opinions that I have about my own personal self, whether it's about my body, my personality, just my attitude towards a lot of things. I'm trying to working on that part of myself as well. And also not allowing things to get out of hand in my own head, and also having some sort of control over what things are out of my control, what kind of things I can actually control, and taking the things that I cannot control and just putting them to the side. If I can't control it and I can't do anything about it, then I need to leave it alone because it's messing up other aspects of my life that I'm trying to be happy in. And without me having self control and being able to tame that down, it's messing up the other parts of my life. So the good parts of my life that I actually take pride in, I need to express those a lot more to myself and also express those a lot more to other people because I've caught myself spreading a lot of negativity. And that's not the person that I remember. That's not the person who I'm used to being. I'm used to being a person full of positivity, but instead I'm taking all the negatives and projecting those out instead of projecting the actual positivity that I do have, that I do carry, that I just don't at times know what to do with it. But this week I've definitely been trying to get a better grip on it so that way whenever I go out, whenever I am around a lot of people and just other people that I even don't know at all, I'm not insecure about a lot of things. I'm not sitting over here trying to make comparisons about my life to other people and other people's lives to mine. Because once you do that, you're completely screwed. And you're thinking that whatever it is you're doing isn't good enough. The things that you're doing aren't enough for your family or even enough for yourself. You think that just things that everything that you do is just wrong. Most of the time, it's not, especially when you're doing positive things in the world, when you're trying to be nice to people, when you're trying to just lend a helping hand and also be a caring, empathic person. That's what I'm trying to get back to being. And this week, I feel like I've definitely stepped it up. I feel like I've definitely gotten a better grip and a better handle on things that I can control and just leaving the stuff that I can't control just in my rearview mirror. Whenever it's time to have those things come up again, I know how to address them without making myself feel any less than any type of situation I'm in. Because I realize that even now, when you sit down and you look in the mirror and you actually sit and be honest with yourself, whether it's in quiet or you got some music or a TV is going in the background, you're with yourself. You're able to be your own person. You're able to see the things that you don't like. You can really analyze yourself in any type of way and also be honest about it without hurting yourself because you're being very honest about what it is that you're doing. You have to continue to do what you need to do what you want to do in life. And that's the thing that I'm really just starting to learn and things that I'm starting to grasp a handle over because I know I've been through a lot, especially as a growing man in society and just things that I've been told throughout my childhood by anybody that was their perspectives that were put onto me. And so I'm working on not living in other people's perspectives and living in my own, whether it's being honest with myself or being honest with other people. I need to be honest, and I'm working on not being such a people pleaser and actually learning how to be that for myself. And that's the second thing that I learned, and it's very important to learn because so many times we get caught up in our jobs, we get caught up in relationships, your families. You get caught up in so much that it's like, oh, you don't even have time for yourself. You have time for everybody else, but not you. And then you're the one that's unhappy. So in that notebook too, I have a list of things that I want to try. So that means things that I just haven't done yet, or even things that I've already done, but things have happened to where I couldn't do them. And also just working on myself as far as my self image. How do I view myself? How do I, when I go out to try these things, how do I feel? Do I feel like people are, constantly looking at me? Do I feel like people are just judging me no matter what? And that's caused me to stop doing a lot of things. And one of the things that I used to like a lot is dancing. And so I remember just even throughout middle school, high school, it was a lot because you're going through different changes and you're going through different changes with hundreds of other people too. So they're going through the same thing that you might be going through. And I know for me, dancing was one of those things where I like to do it by myself. But when I got around other people, I didn't like it because they were judging me. And I felt like I just felt intruded in that way. I felt very just I felt bad. I just felt bad about the way that I looked, bad about the way that I breathed, walked, and it was like whatever they had to say always got to me. And that's something that I'm also working on is trying to cancel that out, trying to get that out of my head because nobody's opinion, if it's gonna be negative, doesn't matter. It's all about the positive ones. Their opinions are negative because they don't care about that for themselves. They don't like themselves. And that's something I'm working on is understanding that people walk around here unhappy. They walk around here disgusting and just angry and mad at themselves because they're not where they want to be. So when they're so upset, they see everybody else having a good time. They put a lot of negativity onto the people that they see, knowing that they're actually living their best life and they're actually having a great time, but they can't enjoy it because they're unhappy. So when they put that kind of perspective, that kind of negativity onto you, people are going to say whatever it is they want to say. But if it's not positive, it just doesn't matter. And that's the key thing that I learned through that. And that's something that I want to try out too. Is so whenever I do go out, whenever I do feel like I want to do dancing or even just anything else in my life, I'm not constantly being hurt by people's judgments because they're unhappy with themselves. So why am I feeling bad for somebody else that really doesn't even care about what I'm doing in the moment? Instead of praising me, they're trying to put me down because they're not in that space. And I'm gonna get out of that. I'm gonna fix that. I'm going to work my ass off on it. I'm gonna do whatever it is I need to, because that I think is one of the biggest fears, and I think that's one of the things that's really put me down, especially throughout the pandemic and even before that. I'm looking to change that. I want to live a different life. I want to live a better life. In order to do that, I have to understand that people just sometimes they really don't matter because their opinions, their opinions are who they are, and they're trying to make you feel like that. That's all I got to say about that. The last part on today's episode of self improvement is going to be about how I've been putting my own thoughts that are in my head just onto other things or just somewhere else that I'm not thinking about it 24/7. And the thing that's helped me do that is just writing it down in a journal, writing every single thought that I feel throughout the day in a journal, keeping a log of it. So that way, whenever I look back at it, I'm looking back and hopefully they're going to get better every single week or every single day. I want to be able to take my thoughts and not have to have them circulating in my head every single day, every single second of the day. So when I feel something, if I feel angry, I put it in a journal. If I feel sad, upset, mad, glad, happy, excited, it's in the journal because that way I can look back and be like, wow, like there were some days where I had some negativity going, and then later on it got a little bit better with positivity, vice versa. And that way I'm able to at least take good parts out of my day and not just throw the whole day in the trash because one bad thing happened in the grocery store or somebody canceled plans, or I just wasn't able to see my family, I wasn't able to see friends, anything like that. And I want to be able to take more of the positive out instead of continuing to deal with the negative thoughts and emotions that are circling in my head. Part of it too is during COVID, we dealt with a lot of things at work, and there was times where we couldn't react or we couldn't retaliate to things that were going on because people were some were being ignorant, others were being disgusting, and just other things were just happening. There was a lot of crime during that time too, and it can really put you down, especially being in a society where things are changing constantly, and they're changing because of social media and just politics or whatever it is. There's a lot going on, and it can really put you in a negative headspace. Another key for me has been to just look at the positive side of things and not get so wrapped up in the negative, because the negative will eventually take over and you'll become that. And that's something I'm working really hard not to do. And that way I'm putting all of my thoughts in a journal and also collecting my thoughts and emotions, everything I'm dealing with, so that way I'm not projecting them out onto the wrong things. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm working to overcome all my physical and emotional traumas that have held me back, and I refuse to live in a life where I'm continuing to let those take over what I'm doing and the person that I want to become and also want to be. Thank you guys for watching this episode, my second episode on self improvement. And I'm also got a website link in the description, so that way you can see all my social media links. But if you have any questions or just any thoughts about these first two episodes, feel free to message me on anything. Like I said, guys, until the next one, peace.